I can still recall the exact evening he spoke those words, the evening my entire world tilted on its axis. It was a calm, ordinary night. Rain drummed gently against the window pane. The apartment felt cozy, but there was a strange heaviness in the air I couldn't name. Leo sat across from me, not saying a word, just staring into his mug of tea. I tried to lighten the mood. "You're awfully quiet tonight. Everything okay?" He didn't answer right away. That was the first warning sign. A quiet dread began to creep in. Then he finally lifted his gaze. His eyes were tender, but weighed down with something unspoken. "Nora, can I ask you something unusual?" I let out a nervous laugh. "Since when do you ask permission? Just say it." He inhaled deeply, as if releasing a secret he'd been holding for years. "I have a wish." I leaned back in my chair. "A wish? That sounds ominous." He offered a faint smile. "It's not scary, at least I don't think it is." A long pause followed. In that silence, my heart started racing for no reason I could explain. "All right," I whispered. "Tell me." He looked down at his hands, then back at me. "I want us to try something different." Different. The word hung in the air, vague and heavy.
"What do you mean by that?"
He hesitated, choosing his words like fragile glass. "I feel like we've been living the same day over and over. Same routine. Same rhythm." I nodded slowly. He wasn't wrong. But still, why did this feel so much bigger than a simple complaint? He leaned forward. "I don't want to lose what we have, Nora. I just want to feel alive again." Alive. That word landed like a stone in my chest. I swallowed hard. "So, what are you really asking me?" He locked eyes with me, no hesitation this time. "I want to try something new. As a couple." My fingers tightened around my warm mug. The heat was fading. "What kind of new?" I breathed. He didn't reply right away. Instead, he reached for my hand. "I need you to trust me," he said gently. And somehow that made it worse. Because I did trust him. More than anyone. But something inside me felt deeply unsettled. I forced a small smile. "Leo, you're starting to worry me." He exhaled slowly. "I don't want to hurt you. I never would." His voice was honest, soft, real. But why did it feel like a storm was gathering on the horizon? He squeezed my fingers. "Just hear me out first." "Okay," I whispered. "I'm listening." And that's when he said it. The words that would redraw every line between us. "I want us to take a break from being just us." My heart stopped. For a second, I thought I'd misheard. "A break," I repeated. He shook his head quickly. "Not like that. Not forever." But even with that clarification, nothing felt the same anymore. Deep down, I knew this wasn't just a simple wish. This was the beginning of something I wasn't ready for. I stared at him, trying to decode his real meaning. A break from being just us? What does that even look like? My voice stayed calm, but inside, everything was trembling. Leo nodded slowly. "Just for a while. Not to end us, but to see us clearly again." I pulled my hand away. Not in anger. Just confusion. "I don't understand." He leaned back, rubbing his face like he was exhausted. "I love you, Nora. That hasn't changed. It never will." Those words should have comforted me, but they didn't. "Then why does this feel like you're walking away?" I asked. His eyes softened. "I'm not leaving. I'm trying to hold on before it's too late." "Too late for what?" My chest tightened. "Too late to feel anything real again," he said quietly. "I feel like we stopped growing. Like we're just existing." I looked at him. Really looked. He wasn't angry. He wasn't distant. He was scared. That surprised me. "We've been together for years," I said. "Isn't this what stability looks like?" He shook his head.
"No."
"This feels like we're fading." Fading, that word hurt. Because part of me understood it, even if I didn't want to admit it. "So, what exactly do you want?" I asked. He took a deep breath. "I want us to spend some time apart. Individually." My heart dropped. "Like, living separately?" He nodded. "Just for a few weeks. No pressure. No rules." No rules. That part echoed in my mind like a warning. And then what? I asked. He leaned forward again. Then we come back. And we choose each other again or we don't. The room suddenly felt ice cold. You're asking me to risk everything? I whispered. He didn't deny it.
Yes.
But I think not doing this is the bigger risk. That hit me hard. Because deep down I knew he wasn't completely wrong. Still, do you want to see other people? I asked slowly. He paused. And that pause felt like an answer. I don't know, he admitted honestly. And that's exactly why I need this. My eyes filled with tears, but I held them back. So, you're not sure about me anymore. He reached for me again. I am sure about you. I'm just not sure about us, the way we are right now. That was even harder to hear, because it wasn't rejection. It was uncertainty. And somehow, that hurt more. I stood up and walked to the window. The rain was still falling.
Soft.
Endless. Just like my thoughts. Behind me, Leo spoke again. I don't want to lose you. But I also don't want to wake up one day and realize we already lost each other. I closed my eyes. And in that moment, I realized something terrifying. This wasn't just his wish anymore. Now, it was my decision too.
I didn't answer him that night.
I couldn't. Some choices need silence first. The next morning felt foreign, like we were already different people. Leo made coffee. I stood by the kitchen doorway. We barely looked at each other. Did you sleep? He asked. A little, I said. That was a lie. My mind hadn't rested at all. Every word from the night before kept replaying on a loop. He placed a cup on the table. For you. Thanks, I said softly. Another silence. Longer this time. I meant what I said, he added. I'm not trying to hurt you. I know. And I did know. That's what made it harder. This wasn't anger. This wasn't betrayal. This was something real. Something we both felt, but never said out loud. I've been thinking, I said slowly. He looked up, careful, hopeful. I don't like this idea, I continued. But I understand it. His eyes softened. That means a lot. But that doesn't mean I'm okay with it, I added quickly. I don't expect you to be, he replied. I sat down across from him. If we do this, we do it honestly. He nodded. Always. No lies. No hiding things later. I agree. And if one of us feels like it's too much, we say it. Yes, he said again. We were setting rules for something with no rules. That felt ironic. And Leo, I paused. He waited. If we come back, we don't pretend nothing happened. His voice was steady. We face it together. Together, I held on to that word. Okay, I whispered. That was it. That was my answer. I said yes. Not because I was sure, but because I was more afraid of losing him slowly. Later that day, he packed a small bag. Just a few clothes. Nothing dramatic. But every item he picked up felt heavy with meaning. Just a few weeks, he said. Just a few weeks, I repeated. But it already felt longer than that. At the door, he stopped. Nora. I looked at him. I love you, he said. My chest tightened again. I love you too. For a second, we just stood there. Like maybe one of us would change our minds. But we didn't. He stepped forward and hugged me gently. It wasn't like our usual hugs. It lasted longer. Like we were both afraid to let go. Then he pulled back. I'll call you. I forced a small smile. Okay. And then he walked out. Just like that. The door closed. And the apartment felt emptier than it ever had before. That night, I sat alone on the couch. No TV. No music. Just silence. I kept glancing at my phone, waiting. But nothing came. Hours passed. And slowly, a strange feeling started to grow. Not anger. Not sadness. Something else, a question. Asterisk, what if this space changes more than just him? What if it changes me too? Asterisk. I looked around the room. Everything was the same. But I wasn't. And for the first time, I wondered something I never had before. When he comes back, will I still be the same woman who said yes? Days turned into weeks. At first, I counted every hour. Then I stopped counting. Leo called sometimes. Short talks. Careful words. Asterisk, how are you? I'm okay. I miss you. Me too. Asterisk. But something had changed. Not broken, just different. And slowly I started changing too. I began going out more. Long walks. Coffee alone. Quiet dinners with just my own thoughts. At first it felt lonely. Then it felt peaceful. One evening, I sat by the window again. No rain this time. Just a soft, golden sunset. And for the first time, I smiled without trying. That scared me. Not because I was happy, but because I was okay without him there. A few days later, my phone rang. It was Leo.
Hey, I said.
Hey, he replied. A pause. I think I'm ready to come back. My heart skipped. This was the moment I'd been waiting for. Or so I thought. Okay, I said quietly. I'll come tomorrow, he added. Okay. We hung up. And suddenly, everything felt loud again. My thoughts. My heart. My breathing. I walked around the apartment, touching things. Looking at memories. Us laughing. Us cooking. Us living. And then I stopped. Because something inside me felt different. The next day, he stood at the door again. Same place. Same eyes. But not the same feeling. Hi, he said softly. Hi, I replied. For a moment, we just looked at each other. I missed you, he said. I nodded. I missed you too. He stepped inside. Everything looked the same to him. But, to me, it didn't. I've been thinking a lot, he said. Me too, I replied. He smiled a little. Nervous? A little, I said. He took a breath. I choose you, Nora. I want us. I'm sure now. Those words were everything I thought I wanted. But something inside me didn't react the same way. I looked at him. Really looked. And then I said something I never expected. I found myself, Leo. He blinked, confused. That's good, right? I nodded slowly. It is. But I also found something else. His expression shifted. What? I took a deep breath. I learned how to be okay, without us. Silence. Heavy. Real. I still love you. I continued. That didn't go away. His eyes filled with emotion. But love isn't the only thing we need anymore, I said softly. He didn't speak. I said yes to your wish, I whispered. And it changed everything. A tear rolled down his cheek. So, what are you saying? I stepped closer. Gentle.
Come.
I'm saying sometimes space doesn't bring people back. I paused. Sometimes it shows them where they truly belong. Another silence. But this time it was clear. We weren't broken. We just grew in different directions. And as he stood there, I realized something simple and true. Some people are meant to help you find yourself, not to stay forever. I smiled.
Not sadly.
But with a quiet, gentle peace. Thank you for the wish, Leo, I said. It gave me back to me. He wiped his cheek and nodded. No anger. Just understanding. And in that moment, the rain stopped outside. The sun broke through the clouds. And for the first time in years, I felt completely, unapologetically whole.